Hello everybody, welcome back to Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham, and we are back for another daily update where I just talked to you about the stories that have been coming through about the team that we all love. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome along to Speaking Spurs. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit it with a like and post your comments below and we will keep the conversation going. So, jumping into it, Conte is laying down the law, so our players are suffering the same fate that the players had to endure at Chelsea. Ketchup and mayo are the enemy. That's right, Antonio Conte is banging in certain foods and drinks, so alongside certain dipping sauces like ketchup and mayo, he has also banned pizza and fizzy drinks as the boys at Spurs are deemed slightly overweight, too fat, and need to cut as many extra things as they can to help them get into the shape for the high intensity kind of team that Antonio Conte wants. And do you know what? I'm not against it. I remember the days when Juan de Ramos was in his short tenure with Spurs. Yes, he's the last manager to have won us a cup. He was very strict on diet as well, and it didn't go down too well with the players, but I think at the time there weren't as many coaches out there that were quite strict with diet. However, nutritionists are a massive thing within clubs these days. So players are used to some sort of restrictions. Apparently fruit juices something they want to cut down on just because they're high in sugar levels and stuff. So they're trying to ban all the foods that they could eat that possibly have all those extra high sugars in that are storing within their bodies and that are harder to break down. I've got no objections to it. I think these guys need to basically go for a bit of boot camp. Why not? Sticking with Conte, he is setting down his guidelines for what he wants to see in the January transfer window. And one of the players that he apparently is looking at and that we are linked with is somebody we've spoken about in the past, and that is Dusan Vlahovic. Apparently Arsenal are also interested. And what I'm actually finding, when I spoke about players we were linked with last month and the month before, there seemed to be this massive connection between players between us and West Ham. And now Arsenal have started playing better and creeping their way back up the table. All of a sudden, every player we're linked with, you can guess it, Arsenal are now linked with. So Kulusevski is the newest player for them to be linked with. He's a player we were linked with when Nuno came in as well. So for those of you that don't know, he plays for Juventus. He signed with them from Atalanta in January 2020 for 35 million euros plus bonuses. At the time, he was actually on loan at Parma and was sent straight back out on loan to finish that spell with Parma until the end of the season. So they haven't had him for very long. Decent player, can play on the wings, in and out of midfield. He's a very versatile player. Do we need him? I'm not so sure. I mean, he's struggling to get in the Juventus squad as it is. So, yeah, looked a decent player. I don't know where he's at the moment. But Paratici is actually the man that signed him for Juventus. So he will know way more than I know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Italian football anyway because I'm a Tottenham fan. So why would I? The next player, and this is one apparently Conte has personally asked for. Another player we were linked with in the past, Stefan de Vrij. So the 29-year-old Dutchman, amazing centre-back, currently at Inter Milan, 6'2" Colossus. Previous clubs include Feyenoord and Lazio. 105 appearances for Inter Milan, 54 international caps for the Dutch national side. This guy is a great ball-playing centre-back, someone that Conte will want within his ranks, especially if he's going to play three at the back. I think with Romero playing as well, he's only going to get better and better, and then we can try and move somebody out the door. You've got the possibility of Rodon having players to look up to and learn from. Obviously, Ben Davies has played okay since he's been in. Eric Dyer has played fairly well this season. Tanganga, we don't really know where his future lies in terms of position, but I think in a back three, Tanganga would work. I don't think he's quite ready yet. Dyer will probably be the man to be the mainstay. However, Sanchez has looked impressive so far this season for us as well. So plenty of options, but Stefan de Vrij is somebody I'd be very excited to bring in. So of those two players just mentioned, Kulusevski and de Vrij, let me know in the comments below, which one of those guys would you want given the option? and I'm sure the majority of you will come to the same conclusion as me, De Vrij all the way. Another transfer story that we've spoken about before, Frank Jessie. The rumours are continuing to circulate. I don't think this one is going to go away just because of his contract situation at AC Milan. Fantastic player, great talent, somebody I'd love to see in the club. Let me know below. What do you think on that one? Do you think it will happen? Sticking with transfers, you will have all seen the Gareth Bale rumours, and some of you will have reservations after what happened when he came to the club. Some of you will be very excited because all in all, once he was in the side, his quality was there to be seen. Couldn't contribute as much in terms of fitness as what he had before, wasn't the same type of player. However, he scored goals, he contributed, he did exactly what we asked him to do. So the rumour that was circulating was that Real Madrid obviously want to get rid of some players. A lot of the Spanish clubs need to get these high-earning players off of their wage bills. Bale's contract is due to end in the near future. Eden Hazard is another player. It just hasn't worked out over there. He's struggled with his weight issues whilst there, consistency, form, all sorts. So apparently Conte was given the option to take one of these two players, decided against Eden Hazard, basically said he's too lazy, he's not going to put the work in training, and would like Bale. But I think not to play as a winger, to play next to Harry Kane. Now, I always thought later in Bale's career, as he does for Wales, would play more of a central role. But apparently when he came back to Spurs, this discussion was had with Mourinho, and he said that he wanted to play out on the wing. But he wanted to play it on the right wing to give him that option to cut inside to take those shots. I don't understand why a player with his shooting ability and ability to leave players in central areas would not want to play in the centre in a front two. I can understand why he wouldn't have wanted to play on his own up top, but to play in a front two with somebody like Harry Kane, I just don't understand why he wouldn't have taken the opportunity. But however, don't get too excited. Those rumours have been squashed. Alistair Gold has been talking about it, and he said there is no truth in those rumours whatsoever. Gareth Bale is not a target in January or in the summer. But some of these transfer stories can have some truth in it, can build momentum. Now let's see on that one, okay? Where else are we at? So, yeah. Other target, Dusan Vlahovic, who is getting many links with clubs. Apparently, he is not answering his phone to Arsenal, our bitter rivals. And once again, another player that we want. They are linked with. Apparently they are trying to make contact. He is not answering his phone whatsoever. I don't know what the story is with Spurs at the moment, but I think if he's ignoring Arsenal and not us, then that tells you exactly where the possibilities lie. However, it's more likely he's ignoring calls from everyone outside of Italy because the rumours were that he wanted to join Juventus, that I spoke about in one of the previous videos. Think that's it for transfer stories that I feel are worth talking about. And here's the one to annoy everybody. Harry Kane is obviously on international duty. He was asked about the whole transfer saga in the summer, and he said that he feels like he handled the transfer saga well. Now, this one I don't think it's even caused split opinions amongst Spurs fans. It's quite clear from the majority of the Spurs fans that they are not happy whatsoever. I didn't think he handled it great, if I'm honest. I think the interview that he did with Gary Neville was poorly timed. I think he should have waited until later in the summer to have that video or conversation publicly. I don't know what conversations he had behind closed doors with Daniel Levy. Obviously, we didn't have a manager at the time, so that made it all the messier. However, I don't think he handled it well at all. The convenience of not coming back from holiday to join up with the lads in pre-season was another worry. So, handled it well? Not at all. He could have handled it a lot worse, if I'm honest. He said it's the first time that he's really had that kind of involvement with a transfer saga, and that's pretty much true, because he's always been completely priced out of moves. There was always questions in the early days about whether he could keep it over a consistent and long time, which he obviously has. He's continued with these numbers, even despite missing several games each season with injury. He still manages to be there or thereabouts in the goal scoring charts. You know, last season, Golden Boot, top playmaker in the Premier League. You know, what more can be said about the guy? He's had a very shaky start to the season, but we know he's endured a lot of heartbreak in cup finals, semi-finals. You know, the guy's taken a battering considering, you know, he's one of the best strikers in world football. You know, the guy deserves to win something. However, Harry, do not convince yourself you handled it well. It was handled poorly, and I think that comes to the people around him. Obviously, his brother's his agent. There's too much emotion and sentiment in it. I feel like the advice he would be giving him is probably not the best. So, you know, with a different team around him, it might have been handled a bit differently. You know, that comes with experience. I'm sure he wouldn't make the same mistakes again if he was involved in another high-profile transfer saga. But that's just the way it is. You have to learn from your mistakes. I can understand the majority of the fans' anger towards this. However, I think that we have to let him make his own mistakes at times. We've got to remember, you know, we all make mistakes. And I think even now, when I'm in my early 30s, I still make mistakes. He's only human at the end of the day. So I think forgive and forget. Let him start afresh. However, I don't think he should have come out and said in the press that he handled it well, when I think deep down he knows he could have handled it better. And maybe that's something he should have said. He should have said, I think under the circumstances, I handled it well, but I am fully aware that I could have handled it better. And I apologise if I caused any distress or anger amongst the Spurs fans, because they've always had my back and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Just something a bit more mature. But I'm sure he won't make that mistake again. But there you go. That's it for today. So players that we're possibly looking at: Kulusevski, Kessie rumours haven't gone, Vlahovic and De Vrij. Let me know in the comments below about those players. In fact, even let me in the comments below know about any players that you would like us to sign that aren't currently on our radar or that we're being linked to. If that'd be interesting, and maybe I can talk about those players and give you my views or views of other people that I've spoken to about them. We'll keep the conversation going on that. And then the other stories that we spoke about is ketchup and mayo is a no-go for the Spurs fatties. Oh yeah, and also goalkeeping coach, I hadn't mentioned that. Conte's got the rest of his team to put together. The one that he hasn't got in the door yet is a goalkeeping coach, so that's still yet to be decided, and hopefully they will clear that up in the near future, because the goalkeeper coach that we had in place, he was one of Nuno's actual staff, and he left at the same time as Nuno. So thanks for watching today. That is your daily update. International break, what can I say? Results, I'm not over bothered about whatsoever. My main concern is with our players. Hopefully they all come back unscathed. Best of luck to Højbjerg with his injury. Could really do with him back nice and quick. So yeah, hopefully the boys that have been left behind prove themselves, push themselves hard. I know Dele Alli and Winksy have been in training, taken away for individual conversations with Conte. He's been talking to them one-on-one, in depth, so expect them to be involved in some capacity against Leeds, whether it be from the start or off the bench. So there you have it for today. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Take care. Until tomorrow, guys. Come on, you Spurs.